Hi everyone, Bernard here. Welcome to the Citizen channel. Hope you're all staying safe and well. And today is some big match preview, isn't it, of another Premier League game. They're coming quick and fast, aren't they, at the moment? And it's at Manchester City versus West Bromwich Albion. Given the full, not WBA, West Bromwich Albion on the 15th of December 2020, 8 PM kickoff at the Etihad. And it's on Amazon Prime. Yeah, I've got Amazon Prime. I won't be running around trying to find somewhere to watch it without worrying about stuff buffering and things like this. So fantastic. I've got Amazon Prime. I can watch this one. I think the next one's on Amazon Prime as well, isn't it? Is it Southampton away? So that's really good. So we'll have a look at that. Look forward to that game today. Obviously, we'll have our usual features, including a look at how West Brom are doing. I was going to say Burnley, then I got Burnley on my mind for some reason. We've got the history boys, some history of our two clubs and playing each other. A couple of interesting ones there. The odds on the game with my free just for fun bets. A total wipeout last time, but more on that later. And of course, our regular little City magazine, looking at what's happening on various media, social media, etc, etc. Please, if you're new to the channel, push that subscribe button, push the bell notification so you know these vlogs are coming out. And you will notice little vlogs on films and TV as well. I do little movie reviews and drama reviews, stuff like that, even quizzes and things like that. So if it's any interest to you or someone you might know, please give them a nudge in my direction. That'd be fantastic. Get that more subscribers the better. Obviously, with Christmas approaching, there's a lot of stuff on there, some great stuff. Check the playlist as well for all the City stuff, don't forget. Yep, so there we go, the history boys, there we go. So what happened last time we met? We've been out of the Premier League for a couple of years, haven't we? We met at the Etihad on the 31st of January against West Brom on the 2018 with a certain Mr. Personality himself, Mr. Alan Pardew, was in charge then. Our team that day, interesting team: Edison, Walker, Otamendi, Laporte, Zinchenko, KDB, Ferner, David Silva, Bernardo, Aguero and Sterling. So, yeah, I think we've got the basis of that, haven't we? We're only 2 or 3 players different now from what we can put out now. Yeah, of course, after that, it was a comfortable 3-0 victory at the end of the day. We did struggle a little bit, which puts us 15 points clear, eh? Happy days. 15 points clear after that victory. We led from the 19th minute. That was a KDB superb pass found Ferner, who slotted it. Fernandinho scored, who slotted it in. The West Brom keeper, of course, Mr. Foster, had a wonderful afternoon. He was keeping everything out, and he obviously was saving from De Bruyne and everyone. But we finally got a second on 68 minutes through KDB from a quick counter-attack. So, yeah, West Brom did all right. I remember that. I sort of remember that game. They played quite well. So, obviously, KDB made it 2, and then we did add a third in the 89th minute with Sergio. And that meant defeat for the poor baggies. West Brom meant they remained bottom, and, of course, they would go on to be relegated that season. So that's where we get the boing boing from, I think, isn't it? Bouncing up and down the leagues. The stats of that game: City had 19 shots with 10 on target. That's quite impressive, isn't it? So just showed how much Foster sort of kept him in it. West Brom had 10 shots. I mean, you know, they say they had a go because they had nothing to lose probably at that stage. They had 10 shots, just 1 on target though, so not so good. 75% possession for City, 695 passes against 246, 9 corners for City, probably didn't score from any as usual, 1 for West Brom, and fouls were 10-10, so we were equal on the fouls. In total against West Brom at home, at the various places, Hyde Road, Main Road, the Etihad, we played 71 times against West Bromwich Albion. We've won 45, drawn 10, and lost 16, and we scored 167 goals and just let in 96, so that's quite impressive. Our biggest win was back in 1937-38, a 7-1 victory with Brook. That was 16th of April 1938 then, wasn't it? Yeah, 16th of April 1938. Brook scored 4. He's a Hall of Famer, Mr. Brook, Eric Brook. Mr. Hurd scored 2. He's also a City Hall of Famer. There's some images up there. And a certain Doherty scored the other as well. So in that season we got relegated. So there you go. That's typical City. You'll find that out in a minute. So we win 7-1 like that towards the end of the season. And we sort of get our hopes up and we still get relegated, unfortunately. A crowd of 16,700. where's the loyalty? Where's the loyal City fans? It wasn't the greatest time for City at that point. And the biggest loss was in 33-34, so a few years before in that season. We actually finished fifth in Division 1, but we lost at home. So that's typical City. You know, when we get relegated, we slaughter a team, and when we actually do well, we get slaughtered by the team. Yeah, we lost 7-2 in 1933-34. That was New Year's Day. Perhaps we had a bit of an hangover or something. I'm not too sure, the players. But Hurd and Bray scored the goals again. They're on screen again. So a bigger crowd that day, 20,996. Not fantastic again, but we did finish fifth, and we actually lost 4-0 at the Hawthorns as well that season, so obviously West Brom had a bit of the hoodoo over us. My first remembered game, there's an image on the programmes there behind me, and there'll be an image up there, was obviously the 25th of March 67 was our first season back, of course, in the First Division, and obviously the season before we'd go on to win it. And it was an interesting one. I was there that day, and it was a 2-2 draw with West Bromwich Albion. Mr. Paul Hintz made his debut, scored both goals for City. Yeah, we all know Paul Hintz, and that he didn't play again that season. It's quite interesting in the Match magazine I've got for Everton on Saturday 20th of March 1982. He sort of talks about, he just asked Paul Hintz about it, and it says in this programme, recalls Paul, I was sure I wasn't in the team because I played in a Central League match at Bolton the night before. It was not until an hour before the kick-off that Malcolm Allison told me I was playing. Both goals were the result of point-blank shots by Neil Young, which were parried by John Osborne, the Albion goalkeeper. I was left with the simple task of tapping the ball into net on each occasion. Well, you got to be there, mate, you know, the old sniffer. In fact, I should have had a hat-trick. Ralph Brand hit the post late in the game, but I was so tired I had not got enough energy to push another simple chance home. Joe Mercer and Malcolm Allison put my debut in perspective by dropping me for the next match at Leicester. He smiled. I think we dropped him for the rest of the season. I did actually play a few games in the 67-68 season, which you probably know about. I've covered him recently in my Manchester City history thing. Crowd that day, 22,780. So if me and my dad hadn't been in the Black Lane watching, it would have been 22,778, wasn't it? Interesting team. Ogley in net. Obviously, say we had Ogley, Mulhern and Dowd at one stage, didn't we? Alan Ogley in net. Buck, Pardo, Stan Horn, George Heslop, Alan Oakes, Paul Hintz, of course, Johnny Crossan, Ralph Brand, Colin Bell and Neil Young. So there's the backbone of these championship-winning team, of course, there. And we did actually finish 15th in that season of consolidation, didn't we? So there you go. And also there's an interesting note of, and I do remember this actually, in the King of the Kippax issue 272, King of the Kippax. Yeah, there's a little, obviously on the... It's a fix feature which looks forward to the games. There's an interesting Ed's note here from the editor, Mr. Wallace, who goes on to say in season 67-68 they doubled us in the league, so they beat us twice when we did win the league. So similar to that other thing, wasn't it? That earlier one where we actually slaughtered them. Where we actually did well, but they beat us home and away. But they beat United 6-3. This is West Brom on the night we beat Everton at home to put us within reach of the title. With Spurs and Newcastle away games to come, we won those games to clinch the title, and West Bromwich Albion won the cup, beating Everton. Yeah, so they won the FA Cup that season. That meant the teams played each other in the Charity Shield. I sort of remember this. I was only 7 or 8 years old when this was going on. A 6-1 home win for City, of course, in the Charity Shield. And that was fantastic. The biggest ever win in the competition. So obviously, Mr. Dave Wallace says no history, So there you go. Yeah, I sort of remember that Charity Shield game. I sort of remember thinking, we're unbeatable. This is it. I mean, what a team. We're not going to do anything, are we? And all right, we weren't to prove unbeatable in the league and Europe, but yeah, we did okay in an FA Cup, didn't we? But yeah, I must admit, I remember going home from that and telling, I think they told me, Mum, 6-1, Mum, 6-1, dead excited like you are, and obviously the world was my lobster then, and I thought I'd supported the greatest team in the world, and I still do. I still support the greatest team. I didn't know there was going to be so many lows after that, obviously, but hey, there you go. So that was interesting that he commented on it. The goals were Francis Lee scored 2 in that Charity Shield. Bobby Owen scored 2. Young got a goal, and the other one was an own goal. So how West Brom doing anyway, getting back to now? Yeah, Stefan Bilic is in charge now. We haven't no Mr. Pardew anymore, have we? Last time out, they were a little bit unfortunate actually to lose at St James's Park. They did find themselves a goal down after 19 or 20 seconds, unfortunately. And they did sort of claw their way back into the first half, but obviously they're much better in the second half. And they did match Newcastle throughout that second half, claiming, and by the end of the game, had claimed more shots and more possession than Newcastle. Well, sadly, they did get the deserved equaliser, but then on the 82 minutes, of course, the old returning player, isn't it? Dwight Gale scored the winner for Newcastle in the 82nd minute. Obviously, he had played for West Bromwich Albion, hadn't he? So that's typical. You can always have a bet on these ex-players playing against their old teams, can't you? So that turned out to be the Newcastle winner, unfortunately. So they were sort of positive about it. They were a bit up for it, but they still sit next to bottom. They've only won 1, drawn 3 and lost 8 of their games so far. They're slightly better at home than they are away. I mean, the away form, literally they drew the first one and they've lost the rest, so they lost the next 5. So and goals for is just 4 and against is 13, so they're not scoring many goals either. As I said, that only point was in the very first game of the season against Brighton and Hove Albion. My little thoughts on the game. Of course, if we need a victory or a team to play to shake off the tepid display against United, then there's not much really better than West Bromwich Albion at the moment. We have a good record against them recently, don't we? They do try and play football. They seem destined again to be boing back to the Championship, though, aren't they, this season? Surely, it's going to be a comfortable City win. But let's face it, United only beaten 1-0 quite recently, didn't they? And well, you know, on the law of averages, we might struggle as well. But if we can find a striker, if we have a striker who can score a goal, or perhaps a midfielder who can chip in with a couple of goals, I think we'll do all right. I'm a bit confused about the lineup. I was going to go strong, and then I thought, well, I know he said he's not dropping players, but I don't believe a word Pep says, to be honest with you. He tells all these things, and I think he'll play not a weaker team, but I think he'll play the weakened team in this one, like a cup game, because I think he'll be thinking about Southampton away and he'll wanting to rest players over this Christmas period. So I think he'll be confident of playing, if you like, the sort of team like he did against Marseille, where it wasn't the top-notch team, was it? That he was saving it for United. So I think he'll do that. I'll be probably proven wrong. I'll get about 4 or 5 right, or something like that. But I've gone for this, and as I say, you can come up with all your little versions of it. As I said, I'm just totally perplexed as to what Mr. Pragmatic Pep or Quirky Pep is going to do, to be honest. I don't know which one we're going to see this weekend. So I've gone with this anyway. It's just a bit of fun, isn't it? At the end of it, doesn't really matter, does it? But I mean, I got 10 right last time, so I'm not going to get as good as that anyway. So I've gone with you'll see this team now. It's not the main guys by any means. Ederson, Cancelo, Laporte, Ake, Mendy, Rodri, Gundogan, if he's fit, which I think he will, because he was warming up and on the bench one the other night. Foden, I'm hoping, Bernardo, Torres and Jesus. So I think Gundogan will return. I think KDB will be rested. I think we'll rest KDB. I think he needs that rest. So that's the place for Foden, in my opinion. And please, Pep, rest or drop Sterling. I don't really care what you call it, but drop, So, and obviously save Stones and Diaz perhaps for, this is what I'm thinking, they might play, but I would have thought he'd save those for Southampton, wouldn't, and give them a rest on Tuesday evening. Mahrez didn't do enough to justify a place, so hopefully Bernardo, who played well against Marseille, let's be honest about it, will get a start as well. I don't think there's going to be an Aguero. We're getting mixed messages on Aguero, aren't we? I read today that he said he was fit, but he just obviously didn't want to play him. But didn't he have a stomach upset? So we're getting lots of mixed vibes off Aguero at the moment. So I'm going to assume Aguero can't play. So please put Delap on the bench, Pep. Drag him out of the under 5s or the under 12s or the under 23s, wherever he's playing, and put him back on the bench. I mean, he's got to do something like that. I want to see the quirky Pep. I don't want the pragmatic Pep. And we're playing West Bromwich Albion, so if we don't get a confident quirky Pep, we've not got much chance really, have we? Right. So there you go. Yeah. So I think I'll give you my score in a moment when I do the predictions. I'll give you a definite score because I always edge my bets on the predictions. Don't I? Give a couple of pride, but I'll give you a firm bet and obviously a firm score with it. What I'm going to do anyway. So let's have a look at the odds on the game and the odds on things. And please, I don't condone gambling. gambling, please. The fun stop. And of course, only ever gamble what you can afford. I just do this for a little bit of fun. As I said, I lost 6 points, which equals, you know, if you put £1 a point, that's £6. If it's a £5 a point, you'd lose 30 quid, you know. So I only gamble what I can afford at the moment. So I'm only putting like a token pound on each thing. So yeah, don't ever gamble more than you need. This is just for an extra interest, if you like. But obviously the United game, I mean, how could anyone win any money on that? I mean, that's just unbelievable, that, wasn't it? Right, yeah, here we go. Premier League, what's happening with that? Yeah, Liverpool have shortened now to 6-4. Whether they've gone out again by a drawing with Fulham, I'm not too sure. I did this yesterday afternoon before the Liverpool-Fulham game, but they had shortened to 6-4, and you could get 9-4 on City now, so... yeah, I think it's probably changed slightly, but I won't imagine it changed too much. And if you, obviously, I'm not looking at a price for West Brom to win the Premiership, but if you want a price for them to go down, they're the firm favourites to go down, even worse than Fulham at the moment. Even though Fulham are below them in the league, West Brom are 1-4 on firm favourites to be relegated. Match odds, well, there's no value there, is there? City are 1-9 on to win, 11-1 the draw, and 35-1 the West Bromwich Albion. So unless there's a miracle, I mean, there's no value there. First goal scorers, I've ignored Aguero because I just don't think he'll be playing. But you've got Jesus at 13-4, Sterling at 4, KDB at 21-5. He can't hit a barn door at the moment, KDB, can he? Torres and Foden, yeah, I fancied them the other day, and obviously if they play, there's a chance one of them two will score, but that's 5-1. Would they get the first goal? I'm not too sure. Bernardo's 9-1, Gundogan's 11, Aki's 20-1, Rodri's 22-1. So if Aki comes up for a corner and gets one of those headers on target and beats the goalie this time rather than at him, he's got a chance, hasn't he? That's a couple of good prices there. For West Brom, you got Robinson at 18-1 and Austin at 20-1, and they're not prolific goal scorers, as I said. Both teams to score no is 4-7, so that's not a great price again. Yes, it's 5-4. I mean, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, hand on heart, that West Brom won't score tomorrow. We'll keep our 7th clean sheet on the trot. So this is where my first couple of bets. So correct score 3-0 is 6-1. So I've put a point on that, and that's the game. Obviously, the last time we played him at the Etihad, so it was 3-0. But I'm going to go for 4-0. I think that's my permanent score. I will have a point on 3-0, but I'm going to have a point on 4-0 as well, which is 15-2. So I'm hoping we've got some scoring boots on tomorrow, but not too much of scoring boots. But I've edged my bets a little bit. But as far as my match prediction, I'll go 4-0 anyway, even though I put a bet on 3 and 4-0. 2-0 is 7-1, 1-0 is 12-1, 5-0 is 12-1, 3-1 is 12-1, 2-1 is 4-1, and 2-1 and 4-1 is 14-1. And 5-1 is 22. If you fancy the West Brom 1-0 win or a 2-1 win, 66 clickety-click to 1. So you put a quid on. I'm not going to say you might lose a quid because you never know, do you? Half-time, full-time, City, 2-5. I mean, that's your bet, isn't it? But no, it's not enough value there. Is a draw and City to win's 10-3. So if West Brom can keep it to a draw first half and City to win 10, that's a bit better, but I can't see beyond City, can you? I mean, I'll be very disgruntled and upset if it is anything different. So I'm not going to go 2-5. Anytime goal scorers, this is where I'm going to have another little flutter. Jesus is 2-3. Not great. Sterling is 5-6. KDB is evens. As I said, he can't hit anything at the moment, so I'm not going to do anything on him. Torres and Foden, I was quite interested in those, but they're 6-5 and 5-4 respectively. So again, no real value there. Bernardo's 13-5, but he doesn't look as another guy who's sort of lost the scoring touch, isn't it? But Gundogan's 16-5, so I'm going to have a couple of points on Gundogan. Anytime goal scorer at 16-5 over 3-1, that'll do me. Aki's 7-1, Rodri's 15-2, and the West Brom guys, Robinson's 13-2 and Austin's 6-1. Under overs, over 2.5, which I'm hoping it will be. It's 1-3, not too great. Over 3.5, which I'm hoping it will be. Still only odds on 4-5. If that had been odds against, I might have fancied it. But over 4.5, so if it ends up as a 5+, it's 7-4. But there's nothing there that I really want to go for. Margins, City to win by 3 goals and more is 8-11. So I'm chancing it. I'm going to have 2 points on that. I'll chance it. I say I'm happy at 4-0. So if we win at 3-0, I'll get something back on that as well. So we'll probably end up 5-0, or we'll probably end up losing 2-1 or something. So there you go. Anyway, to win by 4 or more is 13-8. To win by 2 goals is 7-2. That's an interesting bet. Actually, to win by 2 goals, 7-2. Win by 3 goals is 10-3. Anyway, so that's some of the main odds for tomorrow. Let me know what you're doing if you're having a little go on it. Right, yeah, on to our little regular City magazine fixture. What's happening around and about on the media? Yeah, we've got this ballot now, haven't we? I've just literally gone onto the website, and even though I was umming and ahhing last week, I've put my name down for the ballot. Personally, I think we should all be back, but I hope that because I think the players want to see fans there. I know, excuse me, it's not right, is it? But I think the players would like to see. So that's sort of come into my thinking. I mean, to be honest with you, if it's a lot of messing about, I might probably drop out anyway, because I say I'm so busy over the next few days anyway, leading up to Christmas, that I'm going to be absolutely shattered. But I've put my name down because I've never been the luckiest of guys anyway, so I'm not a lucky person. I don't expect to get picked, but you've got to be in it to win it, haven't you? And I feel it's something I need to do to show support, and I think the players want it as well, even though I'm not overly certain. My lad's really against it. I don't think my lad's going in for it. He thinks there's ulterior motives there with the commercial side and the corporates getting stuff, and he's not very happy. I've not seen anything to say that. I'm sure the City Matters Committee will let us know what the sort of breakdown of this 2,000 tickets is, but yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think he's entering the ballot, unfortunately, which is sad, because he's a bit disgruntled with it all. And I know a lot of fans are looking on media as well about this. So, as I say, I've done it for the sake of actually, I was there in the 3,100 against Mansfield Town in the auto windscreens, Johnston Paints, stroke, whatever name they called, Carabao double trophy, whatever it was. So, I was there in that, and I just feel as though the players want something. So I've made the effort. As I said, I have no inclination that I'm going to get a ticket or win a ticket, because I've no real luck in stuff like ballots and raffles and stuff. So why should I be lucky this time? But I feel I just need to do it for the players, to be honest with you, not for any other reason. But I do think we should all be back there. But what can you do? And that's if the tier changes anyway. It might not even change mindset. Yeah, check on the City site. Anyway, you want to have a look through, have a read through all the little. There's lots of complicated details. I'm not going to go into any great detail on here about it. It does close 11:59 p.m. Tuesday, the 15th of December, so just before midnight. So if you want to put your name down for the ballot, you just go in, log in, and obviously it gives you the ticket option then to have you can do friends and family as well. So if you got someone else on friends and family, you can log it. You do it for them as well. Right, so that's closes just before 12 midnight, Tuesday the 15th of December. Let's see how that pans out, anyway. Yeah, another thing, Real Sociedad. Yeah, we got a player there, haven't we? We let them have our player, didn't we? Look who was November Player of the Month. Fantastic. Yes, David Silva. David Silva. How sad we couldn't squeeze another season out of him, 2.43 successful dribbles, 56 passes to the attacking zone, 8 balls won in the opposition half, because he could always get the ball back for us. He's a little gritty tackler, wasn't he? He got booked a few times, didn't he? So, yeah, it's nice to see him. But, Real Sociedad Player of the Month. So we so wish he was City's Player of the Month, don't we? I always try to feature a little bit of artwork, of course, of Leslie Ross's stuff I've featured from time to time, superb stuff. But there's a great Aguero image there from @Jindo MCFC. I think he is a City fan, I think, from some of the comments I've seen when he's put the stuff up, some from other teams' fans, etc. I think is it fair to say he's a City fan. But that's a good image, isn't it? You can make use of that. It's free to retweet it, etc. That's @Jindo, JINDOW. Bold writing MCFC. So if you like his stuff, seek him out. Yeah, just a couple of funny things before we finish. Colin Blair. Yeah, he did a little caption there. Forget the Beatles and Abbey Road. Of course, we've got Beatles. P-E-A-T-L-E-S, and Main Road, of course, with Pete the badge there. Obviously fantastic little thing, a little bit of fun. I'm sure Pete appreciates that. I know he doesn't have the internet, does he? So he doesn't get to see these things, but that's a nice thing. I quite like that. And just before we finish, obviously there's an image doing the rounds on a certain Liverpool player, wasn't there? But that was an interesting use of it in that picture there, obviously joining in with the YMCA. It sort of made me smile when I saw that. That's from at Yeezy Peasy 123, and I think he's a pretty firm City fan as well from looking at his comments and stuff on it on his Twitter page. So yeah, Salah and the YMCA, that's quite funny. As I say, he did look as though he'd been shot at one stage, but hey, there you go. That's Mr. Salah, isn't it? No offence, just a bit of banter, guys. If you're Liverpool fans, don't get all let up about it. It's called banter, so there you go. Anyway, thanks for joining me. Of course, I'll be back with a review of this West Bromwich Albion game. 4-0 for City I'm going for. Let me know what your predictions are if you're underneath. Let me know what you're thinking for this one. Let me know your team. As I said, my team, I've just gone off the wall with that one. I just think he's, I just think because obviously he doesn't, he's not playing subs. It's just weird at the moment, Pep, and it's hard to tell, isn't it? So I've just gone way off the wall there. I'm thinking playing let's face it, that's still a strong team. If you've got City, you've got a full squad. We have a good team out, don't we? We could do with a striker or two, but hey, there you go. That's something else completely, isn't it? We've talked about that, haven't we? So yeah, I'll be back with a review of this West Bromwich Albion game, of course, on Wednesday, the 16th of December. And please check out my playlist and the recent City channel, City Past Present blogs. I've done a little quiz obviously on the Fulham and Marseille games. That was the week that was, so you can check that out. Within 24 hours of this, you'll find out little moments in time special features. I've had to do it in 2 parts because there's lots of information there, but I'll just look at a special City player, an interesting City player who also became our manager, but it's more on his playing for City and how he moved on to a different club and how it affected City, etc. So it's a little look at Mr. Joe Royal, but as a player rather than the manager side, part 1. So check out part 1, and we'll publish part 2 within a few days of that as well. So please look out for that over the next 24 to 48 hours. Please check my links on screen. If you follow me on or friend me on Facebook and Twitter, I do check every couple of days and follow and friend everyone back. And if you can check out my website, that's my personal website, moviegamenostalgia.com, where I sell old and rare DVDs, movie posters from the 1990s and 2000s, and some board games on there as well. So you can get a few minutes to check out moviegamenostalgia.com. That'd be absolutely fantastic. Anyway, thanks for joining me for this big match preview. I might have said review earlier on, but it's preview, of course, of the West Bromwich Albion game on Tuesday. What date are we on? Tuesday the 15th? Yeah, 15th of December. It'll soon be Christmas. Cheer us all up, won't it? Soon be Christmas. Soon be Boxing Day. Might be able to go. Some of you might be able to go and watch City play Newcastle. How cool's that, or how sad's that, depending which way you look at it, unfortunately. Anyway, thanks for joining me. We're going to do the rest of it. Have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your family, and let's all look after each other. Please, until we meet again here on the Citizen channel, or perhaps you flit over to my film and TV channel, whatever it is, please stay safe, blues. Do the same. Goodbye for now.